So Billboard dropped this list of the 25 best female rappers of all time. And I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't mad at it. I'm not. There's not too much to complain about it, man. Nicki Minaj, number one. And at this point, man, in hip-hop history, you cannot complain or say anything about that. She is a dope lyricist. I think Nicki Minaj brought a new level of respect to female MCs, female rappers, definitely. She did. She raised the bar, and I think that she made it possible for other women to freely rap, you know, like men, but to freely rap. You know, that's what just rapping is. It ain't gender-based. It's rapping. So, and I think Nicki Minaj made that happen, though. I think you had Queen Latifah, Lil' Kim, and Foxy Brown and those type of lyricists and others. I'm sure I'm forgetting others, Remy Ma, and I'm sure I'm forgetting others, but those are the ones that are on the top of my head. And by the way, who's on the list? But Nicki Minaj took it another level. She made it mainstream, regardless if you love her music or not, if you like it or not. I, for one, am not a big fan of her music, but I respect it. For certain, I respect the hell out of her and her work ethic, her fan base, just the amount of people, not really, you know, really them per se, but the amount of people that she has that loves her work. So, Nicki Minaj deserves to be the number one, ranked one. She is like the Jay-Z of female rappers. But with that being said, here's why I got a problem. And there are other things on the list that I'm going to come into, but I got to get to my issue, which is the disrespect for Da Brat. What are we doing? Why is Da Brat number 12? What has Cardi B done that Da Brat hasn't done? Cardi B has dropped one album, and it ain't messing with Funkdafied at all, which was, I think, the first platinum album by a female. Okay, that was Da Brat. 1994, for those who don't know. I will argue that Da Brat should be above Foxy Brown. I will argue she should be above Eve. I will argue she should be above Roxanne Shante, even though she's a legend and a GOAT in her own right. I'm gonna keep it there just because I don't feel like arguing with people or nothing like that. But Da Brat deserves to at least minimum be top 10, top 8. Okay. What else? Let me browse through this list real quick. Lauryn Hill 3, not a big fan of that. She had one album, bruh. I get it. I understand that it was groundbreaking. Fine. One album though, bro. I don't think you can have Lauryn Hill above Lil' Kim. Missy at 2, I ain't finna argue with that. Lil' Kim should definitely be 3, if not 2. I think Missy would argue that Lil' Kim should be 2 or 1 perhaps. But I would argue that Missy would think that Kim should be above her. But again, I'm just nitpicking at this point. It's a solid list. Left Eye's too low. I'm just go through who I think is too low. Left Eye's too low at 14. Trina's too high at 13. Okay, here another issue. Megan Thee Stallion and Doja Cat, way too low. Way too low. I will argue they should be above Cardi B. Most certainly. I would put them around that Foxy Brown Eve tier right now. 8, 9, 10, somewhere around that. That's where I'll put Megan and Doja. Respectfully, probably above those two. Because they've already done more than them. They have. What? Glorilla should be higher. I was going to ask a dumb question. I was going to say, why is Rhapsody on this list? But she deserves to be on the list. Remy Ma, I think, is properly ranked at 18. Lotto's properly ranked at 19. Lady of Rage, Gangsta Boo. Why is Tierra Whack on here?
Why?
We couldn't get like somebody else on here. We couldn't get old girl from the band, Babs Bunny. Anyway. Solid list though. I'm not mad at it. But y'all got to respect the brat and what she's done and how talented she is. Y'all need to go listen to that Funkified album right now. ASAP.
Ladies out there, right? Sometimes the best thing you could do, don't go bail your son the out. Don't go bail him out. No, you want to be on dumb shit, leave him in there. Let him get a little 6 months, little year bit in there. Because what this do sometimes is, when he see a get stabbed, he see a joint going here like a unicorn, he develop a different relationship with God.
No, and you gotta let him get that public defender.
Yeah.
No, go through what your dad went through, boy. Yep. I had a son, he was on that shit. Oh, he doing that bit.
Yep.
Go through what your dad did.
No, because when the get chased across the tier, they got a sword that I develop. Please, God. Bismillah.
The first time a motherfucker have any contact with going to jail about some street shit, if they sit them down for 36 months, up top, or that, wherever, they come out a different person.
Think about the story you always say. You seen a get hit in the head with a weight, you said, I had to just go lay down, man.
I wouldn't lay down for and I ain't come out of the yard for like a month.
You know, oftentimes in our community, in the hood, some mothers have to make certain decisions on what they have to do for their children. And unfortunately, more times than not, there are decisions on bail money and trying to get your kid out of jail when they did something. Now, I think this is a case-by-case thing. This is not a one-size-fits-all solution for everybody. And I think for those who have kids can identify with what I'm about to say, especially those who have multiple kids. Like when you have different kids with different personalities who take different things different ways. We are all complicated in our own way. And I say that to say that my older brother, I'll take my brothers for an example. My older brother, you could just say something to him, very mean and direct when he's out of line, and he'll straighten right up. Okay? When we were younger. Me, on the other hand, my initials are BAB. I was known as Badass Brian. Because with me, there was no stern talking to. You had to whoop my ass. Plain and simple. Now, did you have to do that for my older brother? No. But there's just certain people who take certain things different ways. And I am not condoning people whooping their kids. I'm not. Matter of fact, I'm having second thoughts about how I'm going to discipline my future children. But what I'm trying to say is that different people take different things different ways. You didn't have to do that to my older brother. But for people like me who understand that we have to bump our heads sometimes. That's just the way we learn. I don't get it. I don't understand it. That's just the way I'm built. I learn by doing and seeing and going through, not by reading and observing and watching. I learn by doing. And I know that there are several other people like me like that. And when you have a child who you know who has constantly bumped their heads, and you have constantly have had to bail them out on several occasions, not just, jail or prison, but it could be something with a young lady. It could be something at school. It could be something at work, whatever. But you've always had to be there for them because they never, ever learned their lesson. So is it a harsh reality, or is it tough love? Why Gillie the King explains why you should not bail your sons out of jail sometimes. And sometimes they do need to experience what the other side is like, because it ain't all sweet. It ain't all sweet all the time, and some people think it is. As much as some people know that we know, you and I, we know, like it ain't all sweet all the time. A lot of people think it's sweet every day, all the time, and living a comfortable life while making you uncomfortable. So sometimes they have to be uncomfortable. And I think one of the last things that we need to do to our children, or one of the first things that people do, is try to incarcerate them. When really they need to know. They need to learn something. There's something missing. There's a reason why they're acting out. And to be honest with you, a lot of times it's the parents or lack thereof. But then there are several situations to where you see young men grow up, and there's not a father in the home. There's no father figure in the home. All of a sudden, they're 14, 15 years old. They're much bigger than their mothers now, so they're not scared of their mothers anymore. So they think they're the man of the house, so they think they can do whatever they want to do. There are several situations like this going on right now, probably maybe in your household. And look, I'm gonna be frank with you. His nuts dropped. He got a little hair under his arm. He might have some peach fuzz on his face, and he think he the man in the house, so he can do what he want to do. And the mother is being a mother, being careful, being loving, being nurturing, trying to be there for him, trying to have his back, and he's steady putting you through the rigor. When sometimes I understand that you have to leave him in there. Because there are certain things that go on behind bars that we have no clue about. That your son could potentially be getting himself into permanently if some changes aren't made. And my daddy always said, a good ass whooping to change a dog's mind. Now, that's not proper, and that's nothing that I would ever use in my life. But what he was trying to say is that by bumping your head several times or getting your head bumped, there's a lesson to be learned. But with some kids, you just have to know your children. Some kids, you can't do that to them because it might traumatize them forever and they will never be the same. But there are several different ways to do things. There are several different ways to skin a cat. But I completely understand where Gillie the King is coming from. You just have to know your children and understand that they have to grow up themselves. They have to be an adult one day themselves. They can't always be codependent upon their parents. And one of the ways to break that is to help them learn their lesson on their own.
Most of life is just ordinary. You got to learn how to be happy alone. You got to be happy a little bored. You got to be happy when things are hard. You got to learn how to be satisfied when you failed and things don't go your way, because all of that keeps you getting up. But I think there are a lot of young people who are searching for this impossible feeling of continuous happiness.
I'm just going to blame one particular thing that has changed society. And it's simple. The answer is social media and the explosion of us always comparing ourselves to each other. Because there are several cases of unrealistic expectations when it comes to happiness with young people. And I just be thinking, like, what world are you living in to where you think you can vacation all the time 24/7 while having a blue collar job or no job at all? Because if you ever been around several young people, and when I say young, I mean in probably 28 and younger, 27 and younger, they don't want to work. Okay, it is a sense of entitlement and a sense of semi laziness that goes on, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. But yeah, you want this happiness all the time. You want this money that you think that you're not supposed to earn. I just think that young people are scared of hard times a lot of times. But in some situations, and I don't want to be too harsh on young people, and y'all know I'm not. Y'all know I'm always down and for my youngins, always on their side. But in this particular situation, I think that our younger generation needs some guidance. They need some help in trying to detach from looking at things on social media and on TV all the time and thinking that it applies to them with little to no effort. Because number one, we don't know what those people did to get what they got, good, bad, or indifferent. Two, we don't know what's going on behind closed curtains. If those people are actually truly happy and living the life that you so-called want. You don't know what comes with that. But let alone, you not putting in the work to try and get that life. And if you're scared and run away from those bad times, you're never going to get to that level of success and happiness. Now, I'm not saying that continuous happiness and success doesn't exist, because with some people it does. Okay? But it's a mindset at the end of the day, too. It's about what you think is success in your eyes through your journey, because we are all in different steps and different places in our journey in this life. Nobody is the same. Nobody's journey is the same. But when we on social media and we see how each other's living allegedly, and we see the alleged happiness that other people have that we want, it makes us wonder, like, damn, I want that. Why don't I have that? I need that. Before socials, we weren't exposed to so many things. We weren't. So I think that and I think there is a healthy side to seeing that too. It's a motivation factor to try and go get it. It is. But the thing of it is though, with success, you got to go through some hard times. It's inevitable. And a lot of young people I see run away from those hard times. They run from it instead of going towards it and attacking it. So, the moment that we stop comparing and contrasting our lives to other people's lives who we don't even know, the better off we'll be. And I'll leave you with this. Just remember, with social media, keep this in mind. It is only people's highlight reel, not their entire life. They're not showing you the practice film. They're not showing you the dirt possibly that it took to get to where they are. So we're only looking at surface level things when it comes to social media and people's highlight reel. Remember that.
Shut up.